What's up, guys? Zaid here, and I'm starting to climb the DB ladder now. I'm still really low, but I decided to start grinding it up because, Master Duels has nothing going on until the event on the 17th, and so I figured, I don't really want to waste time on there, so I think the most efficient thing would be to try to climb up my rank. At the start of this duel, I'm 183, my opponent is 171, and this is not as much going to be like a commentary, but more so me going over the replay, seeing if there's anywhere I misplayed, and leaving like the opportunity up for you guys also to let me know if there are more optimal lines I can make. And I'll also show you the deck list that I played after this. And so I'm gonna just get into the replay. I win the rock paper scissors shoot. He's playing Fluunderies. I'm playing Sword Soul Synchro, and he opens Shifter, Avion, Town, Map, and Token. Or Toucan, how I think it's Toucan. Token doesn't sound like a bird name, and it's obviously a toucan. But this deck just got the quick play spell, and this was the first time I've played against it with them having that, and so it was like kind of cool. I don't. The spell's really good, but when you guys will see it. It wasn't like that impactful where he used it, but I've got Ashina, Emergence, E-Telly, Longyan, Rabbit. The Shifter, honestly, this is like the worst meta deck to have Shifter against. Like, I would have definitely done more if he didn't Shifter, but I still have a fine play here through Shifter. I go Emergence, search Moyi. And the reason there's also a case to just like pass, but his sleeves are Fluonderies. Fluonderies is the only deck that plays Shifter, so like the second he played this, I got the obvious read that he's on Flu. And my Ogre's going to do nothing because I'm under Shifter, and that's not really a deck that I want to put no interruptions up against. And this hand could put up two good interruptions against them. So I search the Moyi. I summon Moyi, reveal Ashina, summon Token, Synchro 8 into Chizao. Or I don't Synchro 8 yet. I pitch the Ashina for this. Reason being is this play plays around Nibiru, makes the Baron on the 5th summon. We don't get the burn damage because it didn't go to grave. And then here we go into the Chow Fang, or the Chizao, I mean. And I think this play is kind of cool, right? So I didn't know what to search, and I was thinking about it because this card, this is the first time I've actually ever used it this way, but it can banish from hand or graveyard for the effect negation, which is important to note under Shifter. And I felt like kind of smart when I figured that out, even though like I'm sure people already knew this, but it doesn't come up, so I like wasn't thinking about it. But once I realized it, I realized the card I was searching would be banished no matter what off of Chizao. And so I opted to search Blackout and then set the E-Telly. So he thinks he's playing through the Chizao, the Baron, and the Blackout, which will hopefully make him play in an inopportune way or make him scoop early. He draws into Duality, he activates it, and I let this resolve. He's going to grab the spell, which the spell, this had me a little worried because, like, you can use the spell to block Chizao, which would be very strong, allowing your cards to go through. But looking at his hand, there's a good chance that just doesn't happen, right? Because he's going to activate the field spell, use the field spell's effect, and I'm going to Baron that. Now, I know he has this, but I still feel like this is the proper Baron because this is going to let him play through this if he has a good name in hand right now plus this, which he doesn't have. But if the field spell resolves, he can have a bad name and this will let him play through the Chizao. And even if like I go Chizao 1 to negate his guy and he goes like chain 2 and I go chain 3 to negate that, then the monster still would have left the board allowing its effect to go through. So I felt like my best chance at stopping him from playing was to negate the map. And so then here he uses the spell, banishing the Toucan. And he's going to grab Robina. He's going to gain 5, which is a neat effect of this. I don't really get why it has that effect, but I guess it's fine. It's just like weird. Why why 500? This deck I don't think has any other cards that gain life either. So it's just like a little unnecessary, but it doesn't make the card like that much better. I guess you win in time, which is cool. But they're going to go Robina 1, Token 2, and that's where I chain the Chizao, banish to negate. So he still gets the Toucan back, which means if I get rid of Robina, he'll technically have a play. And even if I don't, like Town, summon Toucan, Tribute for Avion is still a line he could make. And so he's going to set one pass to me. I draw the Taie, which was actually an insane draw here. Because, like, I don't know that he has Avion, but I know that he has Toucan. And so I, in the main, Baron the Trap. Which, looking at his hand, I technically could have Baroned Robina, and it would have been, like, pretty high impact, weirdly enough. But I think it would actually just do the same thing. So here he chains the town. Summons Toucan. Activates Toucan's effect to target Avent to add it back. So at this point, I'm not even thinking that Avion is there. My main concern was, I don't know the card in hand. He didn't set it, so it's not a trap. And it could be a name. But I don't want him to have the Advent for recovery if I don't manage to kill him here. And so I opt to Chizao, banishing my Taie that I drew for turn to negate the Toucan. And then I activate the E-Telly. We're going to turn E-Telly and Chizao, which in hindsight's maybe technically incorrect. Maybe I should just use the Baron, but I guess I wanted more attack. I don't know. But I go into Hulk. Because, yeah, it might have... Although Baron is still an interruption, Chizao will also be an interruption if I don't kill him this turn. But Baron is one because it can return to summon the Ghost Ogre, which would be decent in this matchup, and I have the opportunity to make a second Chizao in the combo. So maybe that's why I was thinking that I wouldn't. But I honestly wasn't sure while doing this combo where it was going to go. So I guess I'll just talk about it as it goes. Summon out the 0-1. Link into Auroradon. I'm going to fast forward during this part because there's a lot. Auroradon for 3 tokens. Bring back 0-1. Turn the 0-1 and 2 tokens into Yazi. Yazi pop Toucan. Yazi summon Taie. Taie banish Yazi. Another token. And then this is where I was like unsure of what was technically correct to do. I'm not locked into anything, but I've already used a Chizao. When I started doing my combo, I was thinking Taie token goes into Chizao. Chizao searches the Reborn. Taie dumps Mo Yi. Maybe not that line, actually. I don't know 100% the line I was thinking, but I was thinking... maybe it was like Taie dumps Adhara, and Chizao searches Long Yun. But I forgot that I can't use Chizao because I've already used one effect this turn. So once I got to this and then that clicked, I'm like, shit, where do I go from here? And so I ended up synchroing into this, which is another incorrect play because I didn't realize until I summoned it that this card is, it has to destroy an effect monster and send it to the graveyard to attack twice. So I'm still missing lethal on board, right? And then so Taie is about to dump. In this current game state that I'm in, I think the correct play would be to Taie dump Adhara. Adhara add back a guy. And then just summon it and attack for game. But I then also forgot that I could not link summon. And so I'm like, maybe the play's Ashina. I dump Ashina, special Adhara, link Adhara into Monk. But then I realize that I can't do that, so I go back and tell my opponent I can't. He asks why, I tell him because of Auroradon. And so now I'm thinking, shit, did I really just punt this? Am I not going to be able to kill him and then he's going to have recovery next turn? Clearly looking at his hand, like he'd have to top deck very good to still be playing. But, like there was a chance because I played bad. But then there's actually not because I realized I can Auroradon, pop Adhara, or tribute Adhara to destroy his Robina, and then Robina add Mo Yi, summon Mo Yi, hit for game. And I know that, like I said, I kind of like forgot how some of my cards worked there for a minute. One sec, I feel like my audio is a little loud. Let me turn this down a bit. If you guys don't think it was actually loud and I just turned it down for nothing, let me know in the comments. And but where was I? Oh yeah, I feel like a takeaway from that first game of mine is that you don't have to, like, if you misplay, it's not like the end of the world. There were like 3 lines where for a second I felt like I completely punted the game. But you kind of have to like think not what could I have done there, but what can I do from here? And oftentimes you'll find more lines that will be viable and get you to the same solution you were looking for. And so, yeah, game 2, we're going to game 2. I also had mentioned to him that I should have made Baxia instead of the Draco, spun back as Guy, because then I could like tribute to Reborn a Guy, but the line I made was still fine. And so we have him going first now, though. He opens Barrier Statue, Prosperity, Shifter, Map, and Duality. I opened Adhara, Mo Yi, Veiler, Chalice, Thana, which This hand is actually really strong on my part. I have like, if I went first, this was like full combo times 2 because I have the full Sword Soul combo and the Hell combo, and I have Valor Chalice to stop his plays. But he has Shifter, which turns off my Valor, which is pretty good for him. He's gonna lead with Shifter, and then Prosperity. Let's see what his extra was. Win the Wind Charmer, the Leerlusk, Zeus, Nova, Mechba, and Natis. And he's going to reveal 6. The 6 honestly weren't that good. Eaglin is fine. The Terraforming's fine, but he already has map. And I believe he added Eaglin off this. The cool thing about Prosperity into Duality is that you get to literally look at the top 9 cards of your deck. Because Prosperity doesn't shuffle. So you look at 6 and look at 3. That's really strong. But he's going to resolve this here too. I have like no interaction on his turn because of the Shifter. He's going to add Crossout, which also feels really strong. But I doubt he's playing Chalice, so it's not going to come up to stop that. He goes map reveal, Eaglin, or Robina gets banished. So he's going to add Robina, add Empen, summon Robina, Robina search Stree, tribute for Empen and Eaglin. Eaglin adds itself, Empen adds town, summons statue. He sets Dreamtown, sets Crossout passes, and I draw Blackout. Blackout felt like actually an insane draw for me here. I technically I could have went special Sthana, special Adhara, made like double Monk, and then crashed a Monk, did the Sthana pop here. I ended up doing it later. But oh wait, no, I couldn't. Never mind, I couldn't because of the barrier statue. So I have to like literally just lead with this. I could have chaliced it, but I didn't really want to commit the resources to that. My thought process here is Mo Yi can punch statue. He has Stree in hand, which isn't combo. He has Eaglin in hand, which on its own isn't combo. And so I'm thinking, right, I punch this. Then on his turn, he'll use map. Blackout can pop map. And probably Empen, so I can play on my turn. And then I chalice the normal summon, and I'm able to play. And that was kind of my thought process here. And so I'm going to normal the Mo Yi. I'll punch over the statue. But he, at the end of the main, activates the dude for the additional normal. Summons the Eaglin. And so here I'll chalice that. He'll get Robina back. And now because my chalice is gone, I'm going to need this Valor to go through to pop or to stop Robina on his turn. So I'm going to Mo Yi punch. He's going to take 7. We're going to set the Blackout and pass. He draws Crossout, which is crazy to see he's got a second Crossout here. Because he activates map. I chain Blackout. And I actually, not knowing he drew a Crossout, I was certain this was a set Crossout because he added it and he had 2 sets and it's kind of obvious. So I opted to pop the 1 Crossout because if he plays Valor in his deck, I don't want him to cross out the Valor, and I don't think that he'll chain this and blindly call Valor, considering it could be like Valor, Ash, Imperm that would all be like viable outs to his play here. I feel like the odds aren't in his favor of doing that. And so that play goes through. He normals the Robina, uses effect. I Valor, and he lets it go through, which actually kind of blew my mind now that I'm looking at it. Because I didn't know in this game that he had a Crossout. And why would he not chain this call Valor? And if your deck loses to Valor Imperm, like those are the hand traps you're known for losing against. And so you're playing a card that stops hand traps. Why would you not be playing Valor? He might assume that people sided out games 2 and 3 because it plays into Shifter, which might be fair. And I also was thinking maybe I shouldn't have sided this out. So there is a chance I just got rewarded for not doing something I should have. But, like, I don't know. If you lose to Valor, you probably keep Valor in the main, at least as a 1-of if you're playing Crossout. That's weird. I don't know. But I get to negate his Robina. He's just going to, like, swing in for damage. And then probably set Crossout pass. And so here, I draw the Lancia. I feel in a very good position because I can special Sthana, make a Monk, special Adhara, make an additional Monk. Oh, maybe there's a case that I shouldn't have made the second monk. I'll just kind of verbalize it to you guys. Because I make the second monk so that I can go battle phase. Monk punch Eaglin. Banish Thana. Thana specials the monk that got destroyed and destroys the Empen. And then monk hit into these. And then I can Lancia them. And so Stree won't resolve. But by making that play, I put myself susceptible to them drawing a name that would be good. And so maybe the monk could have stayed in Adhara, then battle phase monk into Empen, Sthana effect, bring back the monk, pop the Empen, climb over Robina, and then main 2 go into Helki Fibrax with the tuner non-tuner. That, I think, was the better play for sure. Knowing this is a crossout, it's like definite the best play because this wasn't going to stop that combo. But I don't know what other back row it could be, and it could have been something that making the Hulk would like lose to, but then I would still have the Lancia as follow-up. So I think that's the proper play, and I'll explain a little more why, because, so I'm going to go to the battle. I'm going to do what I just said I do. I'll fast forward it. Pop the guy, summon the guy, clear the guys. And then, so here I'm thinking, right, like what I just said, where if I don't do anything here and I just pass, I am basically admitting to a loss if he draws a, actually only if he draws Robina or a card to access Robina. But if he were to have drawn Eaglin, it would be fine. Also, knowing this is a crossout, if he sided in a Lancia, then I'm putting myself in a position to just lose regardless. And so I opt to go into a Shaman here. So I'm going to Ashina, add back Sthana, make the Shaman, and then Shaman pitch Lancia to summon Moyi, and then Moyi reveal Sthana to summon the token. But knowing now that I was going to make this play, if I would have kept this as the Adhara, the only difference is one of the 2 little guys would be on board. And instead of making Shaman, I'd be making a Helk. Helk would get a 1, make a Rorodon, 3 tokens, summon the 1. I would sink 7, probably in a Yazi, pop the set, which would have been cross out. Then Yazi would proc, specialing Taie, banish. Banish. I hadn't normaled yet, so I could banish Moyi, or I could banish the Blackout. Either one. Summon a token. Sink 8 for Chizao. Chizao search the Searcher. Searcher search Longyun. Taie, also when I synchro, would dump. And it could have dumped like an Ashina. And I don't know exactly where I would go with the line, but I would at least have a Chizao and a Baron. And that's probably more optimal than what I end up doing here. And like the Yazi would have popped the back row, the Baron could pop the monster. So in hindsight, I played this, I think, bad, but it's still probably good enough to win. So we go for the Moyi, reborn off the Shaman, sink into a Chizao, and we get Moyi for the draw. And we draw into a Heavenly Circle. And because I drew this, I'm still able to put up the 2 interruptions. Because I'm going to circle, tribute Shaman, search Longyun. Longyun pitch Thana. And special summon, special token, make Baron. And so this play I could have just made more efficiently doing the Helk line. And it would have gotten me more resources for follow-up as well. And so I definitely could have played this better, but like I didn't get punished for it. Because it still made a very strong play. Here I opt not to Baron pop. And I don't really know why I didn't Baron pop, to be honest. But I didn't. Maybe I was afraid of something. Like, I don't know. I've been playing speed duels. Maybe I was afraid of Awakening the Dragon. But I don't know. I feel like this I probably should have just popped, taken away a resource from him. But he draws into Mist Valley and just scoops the duel. And so that's the match. Like I said, I think that game 2, definitely there were lines I could have made that were better that last turn. But like I feel like I played the game 1 really well, especially like playing both games through Shifter. But if you guys have any critiques on my gameplay or my opponents, let me know. But please use timestamps so that I can check, because I'm not going to have this video memorized after I post it. And I've been having people that will comment on my thing, which I love, because I want to have like the engagement. That's like the part that makes me better at Yu-Gi-Oh through the YouTubing, is getting to hear feedback and then like have a dialogue about it. Like I love talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. It makes you better at Yu-Gi-Oh. But like I try to put out a video a day. Some days I do more. And so if you're commenting like 3 days after I uploaded it, there's a good chance that I don't remember exactly what happened in what sequence in the video. And I don't want to rewatch the video every time I get a comment. So if y'all just leave a little timestamp, which is easy to do, you just type the time and it'll show up blue in the comments and I'll click it and it'll bring me to that time in the video. So just do that and then tell me the things that you got to tell me about the duel and let's have a discourse on it. And thank you guys for watching.